Thank you. जय श्री माता जी। हम सभी श्री माता जी के श्री चरणों में प्रणाम करके सामूहिक बंधन लेंगे। लेट अस ऑल humbly bow down at lotus feet of Shri Mata Ji and take collective bandhan. तीन महामंत्र और श्री गणेश मंत्र।
Mahalakshmi साक्षात् श्री गणेश साक्षात् श्री
ध्यान की इसी स्थिति में अब हम श्री माता जी की अमृतवाणी सुनेंगे। इन दिस मेडिटेटिव स्टेट वी विल नाउ लिसन श्री माता जी अमृतवाणी।
You can't imagine how a mother who has beautiful children sees them in such joyous mood. You can't imagine how a mother who has so many beautiful children sees them in such joyous mood with their families, their children nicely settled down. It's very satisfying to see you all so much in joy and complete oneness with the divine. One has to realize only one thing, that though you are many, still compared to the population of this world, we are very few who really know the true knowledge, the real knowledge. You are the people who are knowledgeable, no doubt, but also knowledge which is not being adorned with truth, or which is not the true knowledge, has no meaning. All that vanishes into thin air because it is artificial. By your Kundalini awakening, you all have achieved that state where we can say, you know what is the real knowledge is. But think of the people who do not know what knowledge is. We take, for example, we say that our knowledge is nothing but love. But one should understand the discrimination. The knowledge that is love within you is just emitting out from your being. You don't have to assert, you don't have to think, you don't have to read some sort of poetry or go into some romantic mood. It's just pure love which emits, and this is the knowledge also. How you have to relate it is this way. The knowledge that you have about yourself is evident, is absolutely expressed on your fingertips, and about others also. You know about others and about yourself. This is the greatest subtle knowledge you have. No one knows like that. Apart from you people, no one knows about themselves or about others. So this knowledge that has come to you, which is extremely subtle, extremely secretive, absolutely secret. If you know about somebody, you know. Others do not know that you know about them. And so this knowledge that you have got is nothing but love. It's very difficult to make knowledge and love put together, because our idea of knowledge is very different. What we read from the books, how can you love from the books? What love means, our attachments. To us, in ignorance, we get attached to people, to children, to family, to things. By getting attachment, it is proved that we do not have the knowledge. If you have the knowledge, then all attachments should just drop out and you should become a global personality, a drop in the ocean. For example, we are attached to many things, like we are attached to our family. Something happens in the family, we get very disturbed. We can't bear it. If anything happens to our children, we think horrible, it's just the whole world is falling on you. Then from family you move on, you are attached to your friends, to your neighbors, you are also attached to your country. Attachment to your country is also not knowledge. Once you are a realized soul, you just start seeing your country clearly. What wrong it has got, what ignorance it has got, in what darkness it exists, and in what way it is quarreling, fighting for rights and things. But with the knowledge, meditating, it is no meaning. What you have to go is to go about, tell people. You have to meet other people, your friends, your family, and other relations about your knowledge. If you cannot go do that, then your knowledge is not with love. It's such a connection between the two. You feel like telling everybody that you've got your realization. You feel like telling everyone that you are a realized soul. But in that you feel that you are expressing your ego. All right, by some other way, some other methods, you can express to them that you have the true knowledge. When you have the false knowledge, you can get ego. You can think that I know so much, I know about this, I know the color of the carpets, all the shades, everything. Any stupid thing, if you know, you think that you are very great. Any stupid thing, if you know, you think that you are very great. That's the sign of stupidity in your head also, that you think this is very great to know. Now we have discovered that through all kinds of acquiring knowledge in the whole world, what we have achieved? Nothing. There are wars going on. There's all kinds of destructions coming in. I saw in the television this George, it's a whirlwind which is going round and is killing so many people, is destroying so many people without understanding what he is doing. But he's there and he's acting very well. So is it that he doesn't understand? Or is it that he understands and that he's doing something just to correct people? This also we should have full idea. Like yesterday when I came here, it was raining heavily. And then I sat down and suddenly stopped. Stopped till the whole program was over. Till I spoke, it was not working. But suddenly when you started clapping, also it started clapping. That's what it was. So even the nature knows who you are. But you must know the nature. This is the point. Nature will act according to what your level of spirituality is. Surprisingly, I always felt that there cannot be levels of spirituality. I felt that once you get realization, you are there. But later on discovered I was wrong. It is not so. Even after getting realization, I found people had so many obstructions in rising. There were so many temptations which were keeping them down. So one had to work out on different chakras, different nadis, somehow or other to make you perfect. Because the perfection within only will give you the authority to use this knowledge. There are, as I told you, two ways of doing it. The other day I told you that you should not react. It's human nature to react. It's absolutely human. But if you have to become superhuman, you should not react. By not reacting, you will grow. Definitely you will grow. But if you react, then you cannot grow. Because you are working under the pressure of other things that is not yourself. Now supposing, as I said, I see these carpets, I know the color and this and that, and I react to it, finished. I will not have any sense of judgment if I react to it. But if I don't react, then I'll know whether these carpets have got vibrations or not. Are they emitting vibrations or not? Now what are these vibrations? That is the love. So the communication is like this. If you have the light, you can see things. So when you see things, the light is there, and light gives you the perception, gives you the vision to see things. In the same way, when you are enlightened, what happens? That these vibrations start flowing, just like the light. And in that light, you can see things which are good and which are bad. But sometimes we put the same parameters as human beings do. Like you go to some house, very nice house, very good house. All these things make you very happy. But actually, what about that house? Is it having good vibrations or it's having bad vibrations? Is it worth living there or not? Like the other day they told me they can get a very nice place in Milan, little beyond Milan, on rent, very cheap. I said, why is it so cheap? Immediately I felt the vibrations of the place. I said, did you go and see the vibrations of that place? They went and saw it was all burning. Then they found out that there was a Scientology there for years together. I said, that's not the place where you can live. You have to have a very pure place. Even hut of a poor man would be better than this comfortable so-called place. So one has to use the vibrations all the time to understand everything that you are doing. In that also it can be misleading. Some people feel vibrations and they tell me, Mother, I felt the vibrations and I felt I should marry this man. I said, you did feel the vibrations? Yes, yes, I did, very much. And I must marry this man. And when I see the man, I see the bhut in him. I said, my God, what sort of vibration this lady has felt about. So in your judgment, what is there? There is no pure knowledge. So see how connected they are. Vibrations, which is love. And also the other thing which you have to have is the knowledge, the pure knowledge, the true knowledge. We can say that pure knowledge and true knowledge is like the energy, like electricity. And the way you feel it, the way you understand it, it exists, that is love. People don't understand also what is the love is. They get mad after someone and say that, Mother, I think that I'm in love with that person. And after 5 days they'll come and say, Mother, no, I won't have anything to do with that person. Why? Because you have not got the pure knowledge. You did not feel the pure knowledge in that person through your vibrations. Now see how connected it is. Like we can say the sun and the sunlight. What is the difference between the two? Sun is there, when sun comes there is sunlight. So what is the difference? Or we can say the moon and the moonlight. What is the difference? There is no difference in these two things. One is the moon and another is the light. So all these things are very, very confusing, that we don't understand how confused we are about it, and we don't understand how our vibrations can mislead us. Because vibrations are there, all right, but sometimes even if they are missing, just to justify yourself, you will say, we have vibration. And we feel that it's very good, excellent. And later on you will discover that it's not so. So even now, when we are realized souls, we should know what is encompassing us, which is around us. What is that which makes us feel that it's all right, it is good, we should have it. Once we start understanding that vibrations of pure knowledge are of a very different nature, then you are not attached to that person, you are not attached to that family, you are not attached to that country, nothing. But what you feel is the pure vibrations coming to you. This is the point which is very confusing. When you say, my vibrations are good, I like those vibrations, and while you jump into the ocean of filth. Many people have asked me, Mother, why is it sometimes we make mistakes? You do not make mistakes. It's your ignorance which is darkness. And that's why whenever you plunge into it, you fall into trouble. So to understand that our knowledge has to, like in our house, supposing we have a lamp, it's dirty, you cannot get the light. In the same way, if our heart is not clean, especially our heart, if it is not clean, then we start doing things believing that it's right, by which we hurt ourselves or others. It's a very, very common error in human nature to identify wrong things as right and just to make themselves look such a great, such a divine thing. As I told you now, there are people who want to say divide the country. Simple reason they want to divide. Now they want to divide because they want to have importance. The few people who want their importance, will instigate others, tell them, all right, we must have freedom. If we have freedom, we'll have this country for ourselves. Then we can develop ourselves. Or a part of the country which is richer, which is better off, they will think that it's all right, we'll have all the money to ourselves, we'll have everything to ourselves. So they divide. They can divide in the name of religion, in the name of prosperity, whatever it is. But if you divide the country, actually you are facing a big problem. Because you have seen that wherever people divide, they fall into a kind of a dark dungeon from where they cannot come out. It's just a few people whose ego is that they want to have some land as their own, but they die. Not only die, some of them are murdered. And like that, all that idea that we'll have this possession of the land goes away. So in the same way, we can see on smaller things also. In smaller things also we are very much identified, that if I have this thing, then everything will be fine. You cannot understand how people just jump at things and say, oh mother, this is ours, we must do this for ourselves, openly. They don't think it's wrong to say that this is my country, I must do for my country. Then another says that this is my country, I must do for my country. As long as there is this my and I, that means there is no knowledge. The knowledge, as I told you, pure knowledge, is that which gives you a pure light. Pure light means pure vibrations. Now vibrations can be misleading, as I told you. Or could be the quantity of vibrations can be less or more. But it's another way to see. Is to see for yourself, why do you want to do a particular thing? Mental also you can use parameter of mental understanding. Why do I want to do it? What is the gain for all the people? If you start thinking from that angle, that what is the gain for others? What will they gain by this? Why should I do it? You will be amazed. You will get the real picture of what you are doing. So you must keep yourself all the time in a state where you witness yourself. You see yourself that why am I doing this? What is the purpose? Sometimes it could be some conditioning, could be some sort of a psychological thing, could be anything. But if you start watching carefully why I am doing it, you will be amazed that your vibrations itself will start telling you on your fingertips. But sometimes the vibrations are so superficially coming, I got the vibrations, I am this, I am that. For this reason, I am saying again and again, though you are such a nice family of mine, and we are all so much blessed, and we have so much of knowledge with us, we should be very wise. If there is no wisdom, we can never understand what we are doing. Now to develop this wisdom, what have we to do? So every time if I say anything, they will come otherwise, Mother, how do we get wisdom? What is the way to get the wisdom? Wisdom you have already within you. Shri Ganesha is already there, who gives you the wisdom. But you must take to Shri Ganesh. There I find people become so much addicted to Shri Ganesh that they lose his identity completely. They become very slavish about the whole thing, and they just believe that they are very spiritual, they are very great. All these false ideas are no good. Does your Ganesha gives you wisdom? Now you must count how many wise things have you done so far. Where did you take a very wise decision? Have you been wise to do something? Or you have been just doing it because you are identified with a particular type of life, a particular type of answer. So wisdom is a thing that gives you first of all complete peace. If your wisdom is developed, then you become very peaceful. Because whatever people may say, whatever they may do, whatever aggression they may do, whatever it is, you are peaceful. And you see the stupidity of the other person, of the other nations, and you understand why they are doing it. This wisdom is such an important thing in human being. Because animals don't have so much wisdom as we have. Sometimes, of course, sometimes we have even less than animals have. But still, by experience, you see, we have to learn that we have been making mistakes. So many mistakes we have committed so far. Now, are we going to commit more mistakes? Or are we going to be wise? Wisdom is not apparent outside. You can't say somebody is wise by looking at that person. But in vibrations you will know that that person is extremely wise. He may speak, he may not speak. If he speaks, he'll speak about something so deep, so wise and so nice without hurting you. This kind of temperament, if you develop, is to become wise for every question. For example, some are very attached to their children. So much attached that they forget that they are part and parcel of this divine force. And they just start doing all kinds of things. The other day I met one lady whose son was very sick. And she took him to the hospital and doctors gave him all kinds of medicines and he became even worse. Then she telephones to me, "Mother, I don't know what happened. I went to the doctor and doctor gave him this and that treatment and the child has become..." But why didn't you ask me before? Why did you go to the hospital first? Lack of wisdom. I am there, why don't you ask? We had one case here in Cabella. There was one child who fell down and broke his arm. Now, the mother didn't show any wisdom. She took the child to the hospital and the doctor said, "Tomorrow we are going to operate her and put some artificial arm inside." But the father was sensible. He said, "All right, tomorrow, today I'll take the child at home." He brought the child to me in the night about 3 o'clock. I said, "All right." I put it right. Next day when he took it to the hospital, the doctor said, "But now there's no need to operate because his arm is all right." See the difference. One is worried, immediately they'll go to the doctor. Instead of consulting me, asking me, they are Sahajogis. But they will go and ask the doctor to do something. Once the doctor starts doing something, then they'll come to me. There's lots of miracles which have taken place about Sahaja Yoga, I must say. And in that you should see the wisdom helps. Of course, my attention is there always, no doubt. But still, you should not take it for granted. You have to ask. One day, you see, I was just sitting, I just thought that I should telephone somebody in the ashram of New York. I never telephoned there. So I found out the phone number, we telephoned and asked if, I said, "Is the child all right?" So the leader there was surprised because that boy had fallen in the water and was in the water for quite some time. And he was all filled with water, even his brain was filled with water. As usual, there were some doctors who said that he cannot survive, and even if he survives, his brain has so much water that he cannot be normal. So I just said that don't worry, I didn't know, nobody told me, don't worry, the boy will be all right completely. So they were surprised how I said so. Firstly, how I knew that the boy had fallen, there was some boy like that, and then they didn't know how I said he'll be all right, and he was all right. He's perfectly all right. So they were surprised at my knowing about it. Okay, how is it that mother knows that there's a boy who is so sick. Here I will say it is pure knowledge. You see, my attention is always around you people, always dealing with you people. And how I know is this, that this attention of mine is global. So anything happens to you, any upsetting takes place, any, I should say, deviation takes place, my attention is there. And immediately I know there's something wrong somewhere. And I don't know how my attention goes to particular places, which makes it life better. It helps people in need. I don't do anything about this attention, but this attention is the wisdom. The wisdom that spreads all over. With that wisdom you know what's wrong with another person or any other organization that is in Sahaja Yoga. Everything you come to know. If you want to know, it's different. It's just you know, like it's spread out everywhere. For example, if you have to telephone, then you have to use the telephone. But for me, I don't have to use the telephone, I just know. So this has come from a pure, innocent wisdom. The innocent wisdom is just like a child. It is everywhere and it communicates and it tells what's the matter, what's the problem is. Many people have been cured with Sahaja Yoga. Many have been cured. Now if they can say that, Mother, how did we get cured? What have we done? Did you see our chakras? Did you find out what was wrong with us? No, I haven't. I haven't. But I leave it in my wisdom, I leave it to Parama Chaitanya to do the job. This is the main point, is that can you leave everything to Param Chaitanya in your wisdom? If you cannot, then yet you have not felt the real knowledge within you. That is the level where some people are. I am not now so sure about those who get realization are all so much filled with pure knowledge. Some of them are, but not all of them. With experience they learn. With meeting people they learn. But as the wisdom, pure wisdom, is difficult for them because they do not rely entirely on the Param Chaitanya. Everything happens just Param Chaitanya knows, it understands, it organizes, it loves, it does everything. That's the energy it is. It does everything. And how it manages, how we call coincidences are really organized by Param Chaitanya. As I told you yesterday, the way the rain was. The rain came and went away. It has wisdom. Innately it knows I am sitting here, the program is going to start, stops. Flowers know me. You don't know when we have flowers. They are of this size, I don't do anything to them. They start blowing like this, they blast like that. Now one would say, Mother, how do they know? Because they are natural. We are unnatural. We have taken so many artificialities as part and parcel of life. See, all kinds of courtesy, this, that, all that's not necessary. All these stupid practices that we have adopted sometimes keep us away from pure knowledge. And when there is no pure knowledge, we don't know anything what's happening. You just get frightened for small thing, upset for small thing. I mean, it's something very surprising to see Sahaja Yogi is getting upset. Among the 100 people, if supposing there's a problem. So, if you are a Sahaja Yogi, you have to just witness and see. If you cannot do that, then you are not a Sahaja Yogi. But it's not it's not like practicing, like they say, if you have to have the blessings of Shiva, you must say 108 times his name. That's not the way. He doesn't like it. You see, nobody likes that kind of a murmuring. You see, somebody comes and takes your name all the time near your door, you'll throw him out. So that's not the way. It's a wrong idea that you go on taking the name of somebody and that deity will help. First of all, you have to become wise enough to understand that you are a part and parcel of Param Chaitanya. Everything will work out by that. And it works out so beautifully. Of course, some people have hard time, I don't say they don't have. But it is not hard because you are one with Param Chaitanya and you know that it is doing the job. You are not feeling that hardness or sickness or anything. All the people who write to me about their problems, I don't know what to say. To just say that, do you believe in Param Chaitanya? All right. It knows. It knows what is to be done. It knows what is to be corrected. It knows what is to be said. See, it can create poetry, it can create music, it can create everything. But do you leave everything to the Param Chaitanya? This is the second point in wisdom. Do you have wisdom to leave everything to Param Chaitanya? After experiencing also, like there was one lady who was going in the car and she found her car, the brakes were breaking and she didn't know what to do now. If the brakes are no more, how will she manage? It was in Germany. And all the cars were moving very fast and she didn't know what to do. So she put her head on the steering wheel and she said, I leave it to Param Chaitanya. She said, she leaves it to me. All right, it's the same. So by saying that, what happened? She said, Mother, I don't know. When I raised my head, I found my car was taken on one side of the road and nobody was there. All the cars were passing by, but somehow or other, this car was taken there very nicely by some force. So the wisdom lies in understanding the working of Param Chaitanya, how it guides you, how it helps you, how it preserves you, how depending on Param Chaitanya you can continue to be living very happily. I think in Sahaja Yoga we have lost very few Sahaja Yogis. They live for long, they don't die. And if you ask their experiences, it's very amazing how it works out. If they don't want to live also, they can pass. But if they want to live, Param Chaitanya takes over and you can live long. But living long doesn't mean that you go on bothering yourself as to what you will do with your money, how will you live, what will be the source. All these nonsensical things, worries come to you, all right. Then the Param Chaitanya says, all right, go on worrying. If you go on worrying, all right, go on worrying, doesn't matter. What will happen? Whatever has to happen will happen. But Param Chaitanya can interfere in case you leave it to Param Chaitanya. He said many a times, leave it to God. Leave it to God. But God means, I don't know what they mean by God. God means Param Chaitanya. God means divine force that is working everything. So another way of looking at it is the wisdom that we should understand. Each and every particle of this world is created by divine, by the divine force. And this particle and everything is completely under the guidance and supervision of Param Chaitanya. Nothing can move unless until Parama Chaitanya works on. It is something so connected globally, it's so much there that people don't realize what they are doing, what they should have done. I mean, on many scales you find something happening. Like supposing something is happening now in America. Just try to find out what America has done to other countries. Immediately you will get the answer. So also it takes full care of the persons who believe in Param Chaitanya, who give everything in the hands of Param Chaitanya. We give things to the police, we'll give to the doctors, we give it to some civil people, engineers, to do something. But they can make mistakes, they can create problems. But you leave it to Param Chaitanya. It's something so remarkable that in my own life I have seen that all the time it works for me. I was building a house in Pune, and we had to put a slab. It's a very, very big slab. Needed about 300 bags of cement for that. So I got the cement and I got the people. But they said you to start early in the morning and you can finish next morning, 24 hours. I said, all right. So at about 5 o'clock I told, let's go, the work is over. They said, how do you know? I said, I know, let's go and see. So imagine which was going to finish after 12 hours was already finished, and all the workers were walking about. And everybody said, Mother, it's a miracle. How can such a big slab be laid in such a short time? I said, to make them understand, I said, it must be Hanumana must have done the job. But all these people, all these deities are part and parcel of that Param Chaitanya. Now you are worshipping the Mother. To worship the Mother is the biggest thing, because all these deities and everybody are her children, under her command, under her desire. So to worship the Mother, the story of, as you know about Ganesha, that the Mother said that the one who goes round the Mother Earth 3 times, I will give him a present. So Shri Ganesha thought in his wisdom, who is greater than my mother? No one else. Because he knew he cannot compete with his brother who has got a peacock for a conveyance. So he said, how can I go around and win over this person? So best is to take to wisdom. My mother is greater than everything else. So he went round his mother 3 times and he got the prize. And the other brother was just still moving on. When he came back, he found that the present is already lost. So again and again I'll say, it is the wisdom that helps. The wisdom to leave everything to Param Chaitanya. And this is something for a modern person very difficult to understand. He can't calculate 2 plus 2. He's so bad because of these computers and things like that. It's absolutely hopeless as far as any mathematical calculations are needed. Or now I must say, I don't know how to handle any computer or any calculator. But if you ask me just like that, Mother, how much will it be? I'll say so much. And it will be that. It will be that. But I am so sure about it. It cannot be anything else but that. And it works that way. Sometimes, of course, if I want to tell some wrong thing just to mislead the person, then I may say something. But normally, I know it is that. But I know not like the way we know. I just know it. That's what it is. Just know it. So I am not saying that you develop your knowledge to that extent that you can do it, but your wisdom. If you start using your wisdom, it will always come handy. In anything that you do, think of the wisdom. My advice to you is that as your mother loves the whole world, loves all of you, and cares for those who haven't even got realization, you should also try to create more people for such. But in that, if you start behaving in a manner all the time saying, you are catching this, you are a bhoot, you are this, you are that, I never said that to anyone. So you shouldn't say like that. That's no love, that's no understanding. The understanding is that you were just the same as the person was, and now you are knowledgeable, so you must use your knowledge to correct that person, not to put him down. And that correction is also not verbal. It's just through your vibrations you can correct the other person. Most of the Sahaja Yoga work sometimes I've seen that stops because we are very methodical, we become like great teachers, we start telling them stories, and then they get fed up with it. So, when you are handling other people, as I said, we have to spread the knowledge, very important. We cannot keep it to ourselves. But it's not for any ambition, for any leadership, for any kind of recognition, but just the use of our wisdom, use of our knowledge, that we want to help others out of love, not for any recognition, not for any position, nothing. Just we want to do it because we love them. And I'm sure this would work out very effectively. And the person who will be helped, or the persons who will be helped, will be just be bound to you, because they find the true knowledge. But supposing somebody comes to you and says, I know the true knowledge. You might be knowing, but I have to know what you know. Then you ask that person, then he'll give you a big lecture. You say, no, that's not the thing. Just smile, say, that's not the thing. The thing is, true knowledge is a part and parcel of your being. It's just within you. It is not some sort of a concrete stuff that you have read or you have understood, but it just has become a light within you. And that light is there. It has it's no necessity for you to be very well educated or to be very intelligent or to be very highly placed. Not necessary. It is how your heart is clean. In the heart it resides. Imagine all other knowledge resides in the brain, while the pure knowledge resides in the heart. Very surprising. But we do not know also that actually our heart rules the head. There are 7 auras around the heart which control the brain in such a manner that we act in the hands of the Param Chaitanya. Unless and until your heart is clean, unless and until in your heart you have a beautiful image of a person who is very, very pure, you cannot do anything mentally. And from your heart, if you have to do, your heart has to be very clean and extremely wise. This is the point one has to jump into, that your heart, is it wise? For example, to get attached to someone too much, identified with so much, shows that your heart is not clean. It has so many bondages. Open your heart fully. And that's why they say that the goddess resides in the heart, in the center heart. She resides in the center heart because she is so balanced. She resides in the center heart as Shakti. And she gives you all that you want. Within you, she is settled down. As many things, you know the shlokas which says that she is settled within us like knowledge. She is settled within us as memory. She is settled within us as sleep. Also she is settled within us as illusion, Bhranti. She is the one who puts us into illusions because we are not yet fully perfected. We have to become paripakva, means absolutely matured. Till we are matured, this mother herself puts you into illusions and plays around so that you learn how to be wise. So one should understand that she is playing around with you, and you should try to be very careful as not to be falling into her maya. Because if she puts you in the maya, you will go round and round and you will reach nowhere. So this power of Bhranti is also very important. This delusion you can call it, or you can call it a thing by which she creates a drama in which you become like a stupid man being found out. So this stupidity and all that can be removed by this Bhranti that she creates. And this power of Bhranti is because of human beings as they are, because they will not understand something straightforward. So it has to go round and round till they reach a point to understand that it was the play of the mother that brought them to this shore of wisdom. So for us it is important to see that so much has been done by Param Chaitanya for us. The mother has done so much for us. Now what are we going to do ourselves to get all these powers that she has given us to be completely enlightened and developed? What have we done so far? Nothing to be done as such, but to develop a kind of a deep devotion, deep understanding. And that depth is possible, absolutely possible, because now you are on your way to that perfection. So today in Cabella is the last puja, and I want to tell you as a mother that you all should depend on Param Chaitanya. That's very important, to depend on Param Chaitanya. Also there's a habit of many people to put the blame on others, like I got caught up from this person and got caught up from that person. You are caught up by yourself only. All such ideas are of no use. Face yourself, find out about yourself, and you have to perfect yourself. That's so important, because at this juncture of the time, people think that something great is going to happen. I don't know, 2000 years according to them would be something great, but I don't know, because it's all man-made. All this 2000 year and 3000 year is man-made. But I myself feel, as predicted by many, that possibly because of your understanding and your wisdom, I am sure something great may happen in this world and things may be brought to a proper level of understanding of spirituality. Because this is the last judgment, and in this last judgment you have to play a very vital role, which I am sure you can do it if you decide to achieve something for the future. May God bless you.
अब हम सब श्री माता जी की आरती करेंगे। नाउ वी विल ऑफर आरती टू श्री माता जी।
सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जग में संकट कारण कितने लिए अवतार माँ, कितने लिए अवतार। विश्व में तेरी महिमा, विश्व में तेरी महिमा। तू गंगा यमुना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। सबको दुआ देना माँ, सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जब दिल में आए तब मधुर संगीत सुन लो, माँ मधुर संगीत सुन लो। हो सके जो सेवा, हो सके जो सेवा हमसे करा लेना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुंडलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। ॐ त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्ष प्रदायिनी निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। बोलो श्री आदिशक्ति माता जी श्री निर्मला देवी की जय।
श्री माता जी, आज के इस सुंदर ध्यान के लिए हम सब आपके श्री चरणों में कोटि कोटि प्रणाम करते हैं माँ। श्री माता जी, वी humbly bow down at your lotus feet for today's beautiful meditation. जय श्री माता जी।
Om